Hello, 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 and welcome to Workouts for Older Men Live. I am Skip LaCour, so glad you are joining me here today. Hey, in this quick video, I want to talk about form, the truth about form, right? Everybody knows form is everything, all right? If you don't use good form, you won't get any gains at all, right? If you don't use good form, you're going to get injured. Everybody knows you got to have perfect form. Form is everything, right? Form is everything. Or is it? All right? Let me tell you what the most important thing to building muscle at any age is overload, progressive overload, challenging yourself to do one more rep, 5 more pounds, and do it safely, of course. Hit the intended muscle group, of course. All right? But what if it isn't quite perfect? What if your shoulder is a little bit high or your elbow is a little out and you're doing a bicep exercise, right? I'm not saying that we shouldn't strive for perfect form. But my question is, okay, perfect form, 10 out of 10, it's way up here, right? If you can pick something out, just say a video, somebody's elbow is here or their shoulder's here and they're doing the same exercise and it's not quite so perfect, right? This is all about muscle gains, isn't it? Right? Stimulating muscle growth. So if it's not quite perfect, are we here instead of here? Or are we way down here? No gains at all right? And get injured if your form isn't perfect, right? Never going to tell you to do sloppy form. I'm never going to tell you to just throw around the weight. Don't even worry about the intended muscle group. Just, get it from point A to point B. Never. Nobody's saying that. Don't make it an extreme example. But what if you're challenging yourself on the last couple of reps and, your form isn't perfect? Should you just stop? Oh, I'm not even going to do these 2 reps at the end because my form isn't perfect. All right? How will you ever have perfect form? You got to get in game type conditions to make sure that you can perform, right? Isn't it true that even if you did a couple reps at a challenging weight and your form wasn't quite perfect, if you keep working on it, maybe the next set, maybe the next workout, maybe next month, you'll eventually have the confidence and the motor skills, the coordination to actually have better form with that heavier weight. Well, if you make form the most important thing all the time, will you ever have your nerves, your muscle, the coordination to ever feel it, even when you do it imperfectly at that weight, or you're always going to wait to challenge yourself until your form is perfect? Now, you got to think about it. It's about overload. It's what kind of drop is it from your perfect form? All right, is it just this much of a drop if it isn't quite perfect because you went for 1 more rep or 5 more pounds? The key to all muscle gains is overload, or is it way down here and you're going to get injured? Is it black or white, or is it varying degrees? Right? It's important for you to remember. I mean, this is it's not really a controversial topic. It's just something on the internet, right? That everybody values form, and I think too much and they're sacrificing their muscle gains. Talk to men all the time. Got to remember, all right? When you're done with that one set, I don't care if you use lightweight, whatever that means, because that's all relative to the person. Lightweight, heavyweight, or something in between. I don't care if you use more reps or fewer reps. When you are done with that set, you got to challenge yourself. And you may be imperfect in the form. Again, you always want to stay safe, but you got to challenge yourself. You have that imperfect challenging yourself. You gain that confidence that you can lift it, and you get better and better. If you're always corralling yourself, that perfect form is everything, you're never going to be imperfect on your way to being perfect at more weight. I can tell you, I talk to men all the time. I give them the mindset of what it takes to overload the muscle. They've just been checking off the boxes, just doing 10 reps or whatever it is, stopping at 10, whether they could do more. Maybe sometimes fighting to get to 10 reps because it's set the goal. Don't even know the value of a rep range to get the most out of every set. So those are some things to think about. I think about why is there something that it's so wrong to think that form is everything. Well, why is that? Why is that so generally accepted by the masses that form is everything? I think for a couple of reasons. One, it seems that way, right? It seems that if you're going to do something, you do it perfectly, right? Okay? I guess that's one train of thought. Here's the other thing is that when a fitness influencer, is giving you instruction or he's demonstrating exercise, he's going to be massively criticized if his form isn't perfect. And one thing you'll find out is that everybody has a different opinion on form. I mean, I've got a video, I think at this time, a little short, that has 245,000 views. All right. I'm not even doing cable press downs. Those are tricep extensions. It's not even the same exercise, but to them, they think I'm doing a push down. So some say my foot position is incorrect. Some say I'm lifting my elbows too hard. Some say I'm lifting heavy weight. They don't even have the exercise right. That's how naive they are about even what I'm even doing. But I understand it looks wrong to them. But what I'm saying, what's wrong to one, I'm seeing all these amazing creative theories, right? But the question is, what's the difference in muscle gains? Even if all those crazy, seems right? I get where they're kind of thinking all that, but what would be the difference, right? In productivity, is it this much or is it this much? Is it something that you need to concern yourself as much? Now, again, you never want to lift too heavy where you're just hoisting the weight from point A to point B, and you never want to get hurt. Nobody is saying that. And by the way, I've got people saying, well, that's just an injury waiting to happen. Just let me see. I've been doing this for 34 years with no injuries. All right. Okay. You got to make your own choices and your chances. But the key to muscle building, if you don't have the muscle that you want, a lot of guys are just checking off the boxes. Here's another theory I have. All right. And someone mentioned this, is that the pro bodybuilders, they don't emphasize form. All right. Maybe like the younger guys. And of course, what they say is that, oh, well, that's because they're genetic freaks. They can do anything. They can do improper form and still make muscle gains. Where, I'm natural and I'm not a pro and I'm not a genetic freak. My form has to be perfect. Or they're on all kinds of drugs. Anything they can do would produce muscle gains. Well, anybody can come up with those. Now, I can't tell you, I get so many opinions from carpenters, real estate agents, plumbers. They seem to have what they think is the key to this, right? Continue doing that. You can't hurt by using perfect form unless you're not pushing yourself. You can do a buzz. You got to make all those choices yourself, all right? But my theory is that there's a reason, because it isn't as important. Overload is what's most important. Those bodybuilders with muscle gains. Yeah, they're genetic freaks. All right. Yes, they're on drugs. But don't take that away. That overload is the most important thing. Right? Here's the other thing to remember, right? A little bit of history of the internet and social media is, right, up until about 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, there was just muscle magazines. Right? So all the pros, all the people in the magazines, you just saw their physique. You never saw videos so easily on the internet, right? So you don't know how they got those muscle gains, but they looked amazing. And you would see the finished product. But you don't know the process that they used, right? Once we had the social media and you can see videos, all right, now it's up to everybody's interpretation. Again, okay, that's good form, that's bad form, but there's 82 different reasons why it's bad form. It's all up to interpretation. The safest thing, the easiest thing, headache, pain-free thing to do is just use perfect form. Just tell you what you already believe. That form is everything. All right? Okay? Then you save yourself a lot of hassles. You don't have to go against the grain. Just be the easiest thing, just to say that. Because that's what every Tom, Dick, and Harry believes. All right? Whether they have the muscle gains or not, it's not always the case, but right? But I think there's a little bit more to this, and I think the fitness influence, just think if you were 22 years old and you're really passionate about fitness and you were making videos. But every time you used imperfect form, maybe you got a lot of compliments by the people who know what they're doing. All right? But the people who know what they're doing, they're not going to comment on your video, right? They just do it. Maybe they just saw it passing by. It's the people who don't quite understand that are going to do all the commenting. So if you were 22 years old, right? How much confidence did you have at 22 years old? And you're posting videos, right? And every Tom, Dick, and Harry is criticizing your form. And you knew it was right, but you're 22 years old. Would you keep doing it and saying, hey, look, I know what you think? And would you continue giving them the knowledge that they need, the practical knowledge that they need? Or would you just give up? All right, not even fight that battle. Say, oh, yeah, you're right. Perfect form is everything. You won't make it. Why not just take the free money on the table, so to speak, the free meat, and just tell them what they want to hear, right? Here's my thing, more than form or not, is that what other things are you missing? What other things are you getting from a 22-year-old who's in the process that may make the difference in your muscle gains? All right? What other things with nutrition? All right? Usually, and I talk to a lot of men, they're successful in what they do. And it could be real estate, carpentry, whatever it is they do. To get to the highest level, you don't just do the obvious thing that everybody thinks. That's what mastery is. I'm telling you, it could be just a few of those that could set you into a new dimension of growth and understanding. All right, so think about that. Hey, if you have any questions, fill out that form that I have linked. All right, fill out that question. I can reach out and I can answer any questions for you. So that is the lowdown on form. But of course, you can make your own choices, right? Right? You got to make your own choices, right? But there's some insight from someone who's been doing it for 34 years and have trained with some of the best minds, understands the science, all right, what's important and what's not important. And also, this may be optimal, and do this for nutritional advice, training advice. This may be optimal, but this might be practical. And the question is it this or that? Now, just to let you know, extremists, bodybuilders, fitness experts, sometimes they think, that's what makes them so great. They think in extreme ways, like it's either this or nothing, all or nothing. A lot of us who are attracted to the bodybuilding and training lifestyle, we're black and white thinkers who want it black and white with nothing in between. Hey, if that works for you, good, but you could be leaving a lot of gains on the table of open up perspective. If true mastery is what you want. If you're satisfied with your physique, then just keep on doing the same thing that you're doing. All right, so let's take on the day with a sense of urgency. We have to when we're a little bit older. We've got more time behind us than we do in front of us. Have a great day.